Welcome to the Just Women Sports podcast, where we talk to the biggest athletes in the world about the untold stories behind their success. I'm Kelley O'Hara, and today I'm switching seats with a very special guest. Katie Nolan has stopped by to quiz me about the U.S. Women's National Team and the upcoming Tokyo Olympics. I didn't know I was getting quiz. Quiz seems difficult.
I didn't either, to be honest. I also didn't prep for a quiz, so
okay,
you're
good.
fine.
I'm glad. As long as it's multiple choice, it'll be fine. But for those of you who don't know, Katie is the host of the weekly podcast Sports, with Katie Nolan. She won a Sports Emmy Award in 2016 for her show Garbage Time and was nominated for 2 more in 2019 and 2020 for Always Late. Katie, welcome to the show. And thanks.
Kelley, thank you so much for that very genuine from the heart intro you just delivered here on the spot.
Thanks for stepping in for me that I literally just had to wrangle a microphone and headphones in camp, and now you have to kind of do all the work today.
It's not a lot of work. It's not talking to you is not a lot of work. And look, when you don't have another skill, when you're not a world-class athlete, you get very used to being invited onto things to help find out how interesting the host is, because I am uninteresting.
Sports. You played sports. Did you not?
Yeah. I feel like if you stop in high school, you're not allowed to say you played sports, because everybody played sports in high school.
That's fair. You have run a beer mile, which I have watched on YouTube.
And when you say run, you mean, struggled throughout.
You completed a beer mile.
Yeah, technically I didn't do the penalty lap you're supposed to do if you throw up.
Oh,
but
I didn't know
that's just me being honest, because I felt guilt over that for many years. I've basically run a beer mile. You haven't tried it? I think you'd be good at it.
No, I haven't, and it's something I very much so want to do. But it's kind of like hard one to find a track that you could successfully drink beer on, because most tracks are associated with like high schools, which alcohol, as it should be, isn't allowed on campuses. So I haven't been able.
You rule follower.
I am such a rule follower. It's unbelievable. But I would love to attempt one.
You know what the hardest part is that they don't tell you is running with a stomach full of liquid that's carbonated. It's like you chug it and then you immediately have to run again, and you feel it sloshing around in your stomach. It's very uncomfortable. There's a lot of burping.
I can imagine that, but like in college, my go-to after every party was just to like leave, not say bye to anybody, and sprint home, which is why I think that I would actually be good at this. You're the weirdest
person I really like, I think. You just are a person that loves, we couldn't have less in common in the arena of physical exercise. You're like, let's go do it. And I'm like, let's say we did it so that we can watch Netflix. I appreciate that about you. And you know what? It's gotten you places, hasn't it?
It has.
Because you're going to the Olympics.
I'm going to the Olympics. That's finally happening.
First dumb question on your quiz. When is that? When is the Olympics?
The Olympics is end of July, beginning of August. I think the opening ceremonies are July, maybe 22nd or 23rd. I think our first game is either the 21st or 22nd.
Yeah, see, that doesn't make sense to me, because an opening ceremony, theoretically, opens things up.
It is true.
So if you've already played a game, how is it I get that it's scheduling, and trust me, scheduling is difficult, and I understand that. But can you bring that up with someone at the Olympics? Can you talk to them about that for me?
Our game is basically, women's soccer. I think we might be the first event that there might be something else that goes on prior to the opening ceremonies as well. But
depending on what it is, I mean, if it's badminton or whatever, you win. But if it's, what if it's a swimming event?
I have a feeling, it's no swimming, it's no track field, because it's crazy how different Olympics are for all different sports. Like swimming, you have maybe one event, maybe multiple, but you might be done within like 3 days, where ours is fully the length of the 2 weeks. And it takes a lot to get to that gold medal,
Is the Olympics only 2 weeks long?
Yeah.
What? How is that? Has it always been that way?
I think it's like exactly 2 weeks. Yeah, it's like
that's
14
crazy,
days.
because it feels like a month. At least
it's like 2.5 weeks. I take that back, depending on when these opening ceremonies are. But
do you love it? Do you love the Olympics? Is that really cool to go to? And be honest, because I can also see it being really stressful. Of like, it's not just your sport. Not everyone's there for your sport. They're there for sport in general.
They
and there's
are.
a lot going on. And we've all heard stories about they hand out condoms in the Olympic Village and there's just wildness happening there. Is it fun? And like, are there parts of it that stress you out?
Well,
other than competing in the Olympics?
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Like obviously it's extremely stressful to be any major tournament, any big game has its own stress associated with it. The Olympics are very, very cool because it is sport, as you said. It's just a bunch. I mean, it's the world's athletes convening in one place, competing on the same stage, and for a very condensed period of time. And I think that's what makes it very cool. And for us, being part of the US Women's National Team, obviously the World Cup is like our big thing, right? But Olympics has always been very big as well. And people are always like, which one's more exciting to win? And I would say they're very different, because being on this team and being part of the Olympics, you're not only just like a US Women's National Team player, you're now part of like Team USA and all of the athletes. So like technically all of the athletes that represent Team USA are your teammates at the Olympics, which is a really cool thing to be a part of and be like,
and you
part
get
of
to
Team
wear,
USA.
You get free Kim Kardashian shapewear.
Listen, I need those. I texted Alex. I was like, can you get me some underpants? And she was like, I think we'll all get them when we get to Tokyo. And I was like, well, we better, because they look freaking cute and comfortable. Do. Yeah. I mean, I got excited about that.
I mean, I think that's fair. I think you're allowed to get excited about free clothes. I get excited when you send a sweatshirt to my house. That makes me very happy. Free clothes is fun. Yeah. It should be noted for anybody listening in the audio medium that Kelley is wearing one of her own sweatshirts. USA versus the world.
Tokyo edition, baby.
I like that.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to Tokyo?
I have been to Tokyo. I've been to Japan once, and it's a very, very cool country.
Yeah.
Very interesting country. And it's a place that I've always wanted to go back to. And
look at that. Now you get to.
Yeah, but it's like not really, we're like not really going to Japan. We're like going to.
Yeah, you can't really explore.
Yeah. So I'll need to go back after, for sure.
What's your favorite Olympic sport to watch in the Summer Olympics? You big swimming, track and field?
Yeah, it's like swimming, track and field, gymnastics. Yeah, women's gymnastic, unfortunately. Men's is fine too, but like the women are like obviously.
Simone Biles is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I want to watch to see what she can do that no other human is able to do. It's fascinating. Yeah. Are you gonna get to watch any of it, or are you just?
So what people probably don't realize is that like when you're in the host country, you can't all the things, I'm not gonna say this right, but like NBC, America, and American, that's the only NBC that exists, I think, is like
I think it's called NBC Universal technically, but I get what you're saying.
Okay, but it's like geo blocked, and I don't know if that's the right term either. But you can't. You go on Twitter and you're like, oh, like it's a highlight, and then you like go to click on it. It's like you cannot view this in your region, and you don't get to see any of it, and it sucks. Like they need to come up with a way that they can give the athletes access to all the highlights and events, because you can't see anything that they're showing on US television.
You guys should get like a morning email that's like, here's everything big. Here are all the clips that happened last night, so that the athletes can catch up on the sports.
Call NBC Universal for me.
I will do that. Let me just write that down to remember to call NBC for Kelley. Perfect. Where are you at in your preparation right now? It's currently June? It's almost July. Tomorrow's July. Yeah. So where have you been? Just walk me through it. Where we're at.
Where we are. Well, I'm currently sitting in my hotel room in Hartford, Connecticut. We are what?
No, I said sick. Like sick.
I thought you said.
It's just like Tokyo.
Oh, I thought you said.
This is cool.
I thought you were correcting me on saying Connecticut, like I said it wrong.
Yeah, it's actually Connecticut. If you
could. That's what I thought you said. I was like,
I just like that you were gonna change the way you said it. Which
no, I was gonna like no. I was gonna consider it and then make the decision after. So yes, we're in Hartford. We have 2 games here. The 1st and the 5th of July. Blatko named the team like a week ago, I think. I don't even know what day it is. Is today Wednesday?
You're asking the wrong person.
Today is Wednesday.
Okay.
So he named the team publicly, yeah, I think a week ago. We all got called a week and a couple days ago. So the team has been decided, chosen. We're all here together and just training and getting ready for Tokyo. And we leave the 7th for Japan. And the reason we're in Hartford is because we're doing heat acclimation here. They have like a very intense heat research lab, I guess, at the University of Connecticut.
Ruined it for the entire pot. You're gonna be like,
Connecticut.
No, it's just Connecticut. You
No,
had it.
I know. So yeah, so we're doing that. So that's been so much fun.
What is
I would,
heat
you know
training?
what? I would love that should be your next bit. I would
No,
love to see you in a
let's
heat
keep
lab.
it-
I would
let's keep
love
focusing
to
on
see you in a
you.
heat lab.
What is a heat lab? What does it entail? Is it just playing soccer in a hot? Is it like hot
No.
yoga for soccer?
No, so it's like you go into a room and there's 2 treadmills, 2 bikes, and you are layered up and you basically
Oh God, this is a nightmare.
yeah, you can either take a pill that's a thermometer or
What?
do a
No, but sorry. What?
or do a rectal probe.
Oh
as
my
a thermometer
God.
so
Oh
that
my
you-
God.
so that you have your core temperature nailed down, and you get on the treadmill or the bike and you basically work like not hard, but you're like jogging on the treadmill. It does like
Yeah.
you're at 6.57, like it's should be pretty easy, but the room's at I think like 104, and you get your temperature up to a certain threshold and then you just keep it there for 60 minutes. So
Holy cow.
yeah, it's been interesting. I listen, anything for a gold medal.
I mean, so, and not to dwell, and you can cut this out, but if you choose the rectal thermometer,
Yeah.
it gets put in you, and then you do the hour of it stays in you.
Yeah, it's like a long cord. It's not, it's actually pretty minor. I was very not excited about it, but
So you didn't swallow the pill.
I
You
didn't.
opted. Well, geez, Louise.
well, there's like a lot of
make the
cons.
choice? Yeah,
There's a lot of
okay.
cons to the pill. So
What are they? Because I can immediately think of the cons to the other option.
you could like pass the pill before you get to the session and then have to do the rectal probe regardless.
Oh my God, I'm doing both.
Yeah, so I mean the
Okay.
pill's probably like really small, so I don't know, but
Whoa.
yeah.
This sounds unpleasant to me.
I'm all like, listen, try everything once, right?
Sure.
or 3 times for the 3 sessions.
3 sessions, you spend an hour and 104 degrees
Yeah.
maintaining like a jog.
No, so once you get your temperature up, you can like walk or like go slow on the bike, and
It's just to adjust it's like to get your body used to being hot all the time.
Yeah, like to be hot at a certain threshold, because when you're like playing in like 90 plus degree heat, that's typically what your body's at, and sometimes much higher than what you actually get up to in the room. So
Man. Well, I guess when you're a person who plays every minute of an Olympics in 2012, didn't you play every minute?
yeah, but I was young then.
Yeah. Well, now
Yeah.
you're what? How old are
32.
you? Oh, you are old.
I know, right?
Damn. That's crazy.
Still feel like a spring chicken though, so that's all that matters.
Yeah, right. It's on the
Yeah.
inside that counts. And your
100%.
skin looks good. We got a routine. Do you have a regimen?
Yeah, I got a whole thing that I do. Beast, come on
That's a
now.
regimen.
I'll send you that
Yeah.
too.
All right. I just
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Because it's something that I think about often whenever I watch you guys play on a national stage of like, would I feel like I had to wear makeup?
Mm.
But nobody ever asks you guys that, because then we sound like women talking about makeup and people get,
No, I've definitely been asked that.
what do you do
When I get asked that, or what do I do during games?
when you're playing?
The most I'll wear is waterproof mascara, but lately I haven't been wearing it because I'm just too sweaty. It's just not.
Yeah, none of you need it.
Yeah, no.
It's crazy. You all just look so healthy. I guess that's what working out does, right? That's why people do. It does make sense. It all does add up.
Sweating's good for the skin, I think.
Do you so preparing physically is obviously something I understand but can't relate to. Preparing mentally, I feel like, is something I could relate to easier because I do a lot of brain exercising. Do you guys have like a therapist that travels with you on these big trips?
No, we don't.
I feel like you should.
We have in the past. We've had sports psychologists.
Yeah,
What are
that's
they called?
right.
Sports therapists.
That sounds right.
I think a handful of girls have their own like personal ones that they work with consistently, which I think is great. I do not, but I definitely.
How do you deal with the pressure? How do you deal with? Do you get nervous still?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely still get nervous. But like nervous in I'm excited, nervous. I don't know what this outcome's gonna like. You never know what's gonna happen in the sense of anything can happen. But also, I feel very prepared. I feel very experienced. I feel like I've been here before. So I'm not. It's not like back in the day when I felt like I would black out before a game because I was so scared.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is your third one. So when your first one, was it like the stage is so big and the stakes are so high that I have no idea? It's like you forget parts of the trip.
100%. Yeah. When first couple years on this team was just it was in over my head for sure.
No, that makes sense. That does make sense. That doesn't sound bad to me. That sounds perfectly reasonable that you're just like the situation is so much that your body can't really process it all at once.
For sure. So, but yeah, I definitely still get nervous, but in a different way, I think.
Has it been weird with COVID? I mean, obviously, yes, in a big way, but I feel like there were periods there where you didn't know if the Olympics were even gonna happen.
I know. I really thought like a month ago that they weren't.
2 weeks ago, I'm like, I'm still seeing a lot of don't have the Olympics, and I don't know if it's gonna happen or not. How does that impact training and stuff? Do you just train if it's gonna happen?
Yeah.
You have no idea what's gonna go
No,
on.
for sure. It's just kind of like prepare for the best and that and assume that we're going, assume that we're playing. I am very thankful that we, US Soccer was able to get us back into this environment, playing games, training, that sort of thing. So not to sound ungrateful, because I know there were so many, especially like high school kids and younger kids and college age, where so many things got canceled, postponed. They couldn't, like I saw kids playing soccer like with masks on. I'm just like, this is wild. But it definitely changes the environment because we're in a bubble. Like we don't leave the hotel except to go to training and go to games.
Yeah.
Which can be mentally and emotionally exhausting, because not so much, but a lot, for me at least, a lot of my sanity comes from being able to go and do normal things, even while in this environment, like go grab a cup of coffee, go for a walk, go hang out with friends and family, see, we're in different cities, see the people that I know in those places, but COVID's completely shut all those things down. So I've had to find ways of just remaining sane while basically, I call it soccer jail, being in soccer jail. So,
and what have those been?
I mean, honestly, like, I think I've kind of looked at it as like, all right, I have I can't go do anything else. So I should just fully prepare and make sure I'm like 100% on top of all of my routines in terms of like stretching, massage, treatment, preparation, all those things. So I've tried to like take that opportunity. But I mean, I bought beads to make like bracelets. I bought friendship string. Like we're gonna, like, there's just gonna be, we gotta get games. So you just have to keep yourself busy.
What's the go-to like board game or group game of the US women's national team? Are you like a Cards Against Humanity group? Are you like a...
No, we're like, so in the past it's been Monopoly Deal. Have you ever played that?
No, but I just heard about it for the first time yesterday, which means that it's something that's just going to keep coming up in my life. So I have to look into it. What is it?
For sure. Great game. It's like a card game that is based on Monopoly. Gets very heated, very competitive.
Okay.
There have been fights. But
who's the dirtiest player on the team at playing Monopoly Deal? Who do you fight with?
We haven't played it in like years. So I'm hoping that it comes back.
I'm so behind on this trend.
I know. It's like
embarrassing.
No, I wouldn't say embarrassing, but some of my friends actually for the first time just found it. So you're not alone in that you're late to it. Settlers of Catan, also a good board game. Yeah, for sure.
I've never played it, but I have heard of it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah.
I also feel like the thing I have to always pay attention to whenever the women's national team is competing on the national stage is like, you guys are very good at inside jokes. There's always like inside jokes. And I'm like, oh God, I missed the origin of that one. And now I don't know what, like nicknames or like things you called things. And are there any that I need to brush up on before this? Any new vocab words? Any like things we're saying?
God, I'm not the person to ask. Like we need Sonnet or like Rose or Sam.
The only person I have.
I know. I'm really sorry. I even thought that you were going to ask me some questions like this, and I was like, I should get them in here. But
and then what did you do? Did you? You had just told me you can't do anything, so you're making sure you're prepared, and yet nothing.
Well, I mean, prepared for like for the soccer games.
Well, this is equally as important. You know,
it's up there. It's up there.
You said before the World Cup is different from the Olympics.
Yes.
In a weird way, unlike for men, it is more similar for the women, right? Because you guys have your full senior team.
Correct.
Because on the men's side, most of the players have to be under 23. That does not.
Correct.
So you guys can just have your full team. What are the differences in preparing for the two? Like, is it basically the same, or is it like scheduling is so different, or?
Yeah, so it is, they're actually quite different in logistics and scheduling. So World Cup.
Exciting stuff. Everybody loves logistics.
But so people don't like, I was talking to somebody physically winning a gold medal is physically more difficult than winning a World Cup.
Huh.
So World Cup is 7 games. I'm going to mess this up. I think there's 24 teams, women in the women's side. There might be 32. Maybe that's men. I don't know. There's more teams. And there's more games. There's 7 games, but it's over basically like a month, and like a solid month. So you're playing every 4 to 5 days. Whereas the Olympics, and the roster is 23 players. The Olympics is how many teams? 12 teams? 16 teams.
These are all questions I should have the answers to, but I don't.
It's so bad that I don't know these things. I feel I'm slightly embarrassed, but not really. I think it's 12 or 16 teams. It's only 6 games, but it's over 14 days. And so you're playing every 3rd day, which is like so hard.
12 teams. It's 12 teams.
Okay, 12 teams. How many teams is it in the World Cup? 24?
32. That's probably for men.
Yeah.
Women's World Cup.
I'm trying to think. I think there were
32
brackets.
It says 32.
There were 32 last World Cup. No way.
Says World Cup 32.
What?
24. God damn. I mean, really, Googling anything related to women's sports, you got to write all the words to get the right answers. It's very frustrating.
You have to put the apostrophe.
24 national teams involved in the tournament. I feel like there was a discussion recently about increasing the number.
Yes.
So,
and that's why
24.
That's why we were both confused, because we're just very.
That's why, not because we don't know. Of course we know. We know everything. We're brilliant.
Correct.
But anyway, back to it being different. So it's less teams.
Less teams. It's 6 games instead of 7, but it's 6 games over 2 weeks, and so you play every 3rd day, which is so freaking hard in soccer.
Yeah.
Like after a 90-minute game, I'm still recovering on the third day. And like you're
recovering? What does it look like? Do you just recover the way that I do after a night of drinking? Are you like sitting in bed, hydrating and treating yourself? Or is it like I have an appointment to sit in a bath of ice and then I have to go get massaged? Like, what does it mean to be recovering at an Olympic level? This may help me in my personal life.
You're doing literally anything and everything you can to make your body turn over quicker. So yes, make an appointment to sit in a bucket or a tub of ice.
Do you sleep a lot, or is sleep actually not good?
Oh, sleep is so good for you. Sleep.
I didn't know if it's like you could sleep too much and that's bad.
No, in a tournament style, no. I mean, you just want to, if you're tired, you just got to sleep. You just want to, that's when you're recovering the most. I use Normatec a lot, which are like big the like compression legs, massage, treatment, stretching, a little bit of movement is really good for like flushing out the legs and that sort of thing. So yeah, I will do everything.
Is the goal to make sure you're not even a little bit sore in time for the next game, or are you always a little bit sore? You're just trying to make it manageable. I don't work out. These are genuine questions that someone out there must have, and they want the answers to, Kelley.
Well, you're always, I mean, I think if you asked everyone on this team, majority of people would be like, I've never gone into a game, not never, but like I rarely go into a game feeling literally nothing, like there's always something going on. But yeah, you just try to get as fresh as you possibly can so that when that whistle blows, you're ready to rock and roll for another 90 minutes.
It's so much running.
It's a lot of running.
It's so much running.
It's a lot of
movement. Did you think about that when figuring out what sport you were going to get into? Did you know what you were signing up for? It's constant cardio. The field's very big.
It's very big and it's very long. Like some games they're 90 minutes long. It's crazy. Sometimes I'll be getting ready for a game. I'm like, oh my God, I have to go do this for 90 minutes.
It's so long. It's hard sometimes to sit still for 90 minutes. I can't imagine not being able to sit still for 90 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
Difficult. This is the sports analysis that people tune in for. When Katie Nolan's making content. Tell me how tired you are when you're playing soccer.
Literally so tired.
You're like seen nationally, internationally as these unstoppable champions, which I imagine is very cool to have people recognize your greatness. But I also imagine that it could be a little bit stressful, especially when, even though you've had so much success, the last Olympics was not good.
Not the greatest.
And I don't want to like dwell on it, but I do think that there is, in talking to athletes over the last few years of my career, there's this kind of running theme where people talk about losses, big losses hurting more and driving them more than big wins. And so I'm curious how you look at or think about the last Olympics now that you're heading into your next one. If you feel like, taking an L is actually going to make you guys better, or like, how do you approach this? Because that, in plain terms, that sucked. It was a bummer.
It did.
It was a real bummer.
Oh, it sucked so bad. I love taking an L. We took a big fat L that year and that Olympics, and it was, that was shitty. Like there's no other way to put it. It just sucked. And I still remember leaving the field that day, being on the field after we lost in the PKs, what it sounded like what it looked like getting back into the locker room. And I remember not wanting to leave the locker room. Like I didn't even want to look at my phone because I was like, I don't want people to say sorry, or I don't want to see people saying sorry because then it's real. And like, I was like, when I leave the soccer room, I got to go face reality, which is like, we're no longer in the Olympics. Like winning another gold medal is off the table. And yeah, it absolutely fuels me to this day. And I think it fuels everybody who was there. It just, losses are for sure much harder and just hurt more than winning will ever feel good.
Oh,
yeah. It just is
sucks. That sucks.
But that's because it like they like really, really suck. But like winning's really, really fun, but losing really, really, really sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I don't want to take away, like winning is an amazing feeling. There's no words to put to it, but losing is just like, it just hits you to your core. Whereas, yeah, winning is, I think, a little bit more, I don't know. It's like great, but
it's like a relief. It's like, we
it's
did
for
it.
sure.
All the work was for something. Whereas an L is usually like, well, but I put in all that work.
Yeah.
And now what?
Yeah. But I will say that like losing is sometimes the best thing that you can get at that time, because, or for you, like for the future of your career, your life, not even in sports, but like you don't get something that you want. And it's like, why did you do something wrong? Like, did you not prepare right? Like, what was the reason that I came up short? And losing makes you like stare that straight into the face and be like, well, we're going to have to figure this out because I don't want to feel this way again. And winning, there's probably things that you need to stare straight into the face, but
you're busy getting drunk and getting on top of the bar.
Yeah, you're like, I won. I don't need to do that.
I got to give people on the internet content. I can't think about any of that right now. So those tough questions, I mean, did you find answers in asking them of yourself? Like, was there something you learned from that loss that you think will help you? And not like in a way that you can't share because it's an advantage and you don't want to tell other teams, but like, was there stuff that you found in there as simple as like, stay present in the, like even a wide sweeping, lesson?
I think for me, so I've had two big losses in my career on the international stage. 2011, it was my first tournament, 2011 World Cup, first tournament with the US Women's full team. But I didn't make that team. I got put on it when Lindsay Tarpley hurt her knee and couldn't go. So I replaced somebody. So I did technically make it in the end, but like when they made the cuts, I wasn't on that team. So I was just happy to be going to that World Cup. And I knew that I would just be a cheerleader and a practice player. And I was perfectly fine with that role. So when we lost in 2011, it sucked and it hurt, but like, it wasn't, I was kind of like, I got to go. That's cool enough. 2016 made me, and also it was my first. So like, you didn't really know any other than like, oh, we made it to the World Cup final. And I don't think they had done that for a bit, but anyway. And then in 2016, I'd won a gold medal and I'd won a World Cup. And then I'm going back and I'm like, oh, we've won the gold medal 3 times in a row. Like, we're obviously going to win again. We just won the World Cup. We're obviously going to win again. So in 2016, like losing in 2016, we should have won that game. Like, if you probably go back and watch the game, we had more chances, we had more possession, all that stuff.
How many times have you gone back and watched that game?
0.
Really?
Haven't watched it once.
Huh.
Yeah, which is like probably not great, but also
no, that's I don't think I would watch it if I were you, but at the same time, you could. There are people who would process it by just watching it and watching it and watching it.
No, didn't do that. Because I lived it and I was like, we should have won that game. And so in losing it, I was like, you can be the better team, but you can lose. Like, that is just the reality of this sport, of sports in general, and of life and of major tournaments. And like, so you have to realize, like, sometimes even when you're winning, you could just be like, you could have won because of like the slight blow of like the wind, like that's the reality. And so, oh my God, we have a special guest. Hi. Look at your hair clip. Well, do you want to say hi? Is it? Are you going to scream if we go away from mama?
Hi, cutie. Hi.
She heard you earlier. You were loud and I said, that's a baby. And she thought I had a baby, but you're the baby. Oh, you want to talk?
Oh my goodness. The little hair.
She wants you to wear the clip. You want me to put it in my hair? Should I put it on the headphones?
No, you should put it in your hair.
I don't think it can go in my hair. What do you want to talk about?
A butterfly.
I can't believe you're letting me hold you right now. She never does this. Look at now, she's out. She gotta go to
She's
mama.
like, she realized what was happening.
Exactly.
She said, "Get me out of here."
Okay. No, you guys have to go. I'm getting interviewed. You can't be jumping on the bed right now.
This is a lesson in focus. This is exactly
This
what
is it.
you need. Oh my goodness.
This is it. This is what's happening. Oh,
They're so
how can I
cute.
not tilt this
They're
better?
so cute.
There we go. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
She wants more.
Oh my goodness. Charlie,
Okay.
what are you doing? You wake up from a nap? You have a good nap? Oh, yep. Bounce. Okay, come here. I'm gonna put your clip in. Come here.
God, I cannot imagine doing both. I cannot imagine doing both of those things right now. Being a mom and getting ready to do the Olympics.
Okay, you go jump on the bed somewhere else.
Took that as invitation.
I love you.
Let's go.
Bye, Cha-Cha.
Give besos.
Oh, bye.
Okay. Bye.
I'll come find you later.
Okay. I'm tired.
From jumping on the bed.
Get that cardio up. After such a joyful moment, it's hard to be like, we were talking about that L. We were talking about when you took that L.
Yeah, but I was being long-winded.
Taken one by like not making to the team, and then when you got to, and you know,
Yeah, and basically
happen at any minute.
Yeah, and it's just like, and so I think that helped me a lot in 2019. That I was like, every game is not like you have to win every single game. Like nothing is given, anything can happen. Be prepared for everything, and just play every single game. That is all you have in that moment, and it worked in 2019.
Yeah, it really is. So many things boil down to like, just stay in this moment. It doesn't matter what happened in the last moment.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even predict what's going to happen in the next moment, but you can control what you do in this moment.
Yeah.
And that is, life lesson, but it's tough to learn. But that's the value of a loss, you know?
Yeah, and losing sucks, and I never want to feel that way again. So I'm hoping I never have to in my career.
Yeah, me too.
On wood.
And I know it's not about me, but as a fan of your team, I also hope that we never have to do that, because it's hard for us too. I know it's not as hard. It's hard for us.
No, I know. I'm sorry. That does stink.
But
like, I feel bad.
Thank you so much. We're getting through it.
I feel responsible.
You don't make us deal with it often, and we appreciate that. Fans of the women's national team. Do you maybe this is too sports movie. I'm thinking about sports as if it works like a sports movie, but do you talk to the younger players on the team about that stuff? Like, how do you prepare somebody who's going to the Olympics for the first time, who looks at you, who I know you still feel like you're a spring chicken, you said it yourself, but they look at you and they're like, and I'm new and I need help. Like, how do you help them get adjusted? Because like, did people do that for you on the team when you were like, whoa, this is all so big, and you probably had somebody put their hand on your shoulder and be like, you're good, everything's fine?
Yeah. I definitely, like, I had some really great older veteran players to look up to and kind of lean on when I was younger. And Abby and Heyo and Mitzi, they all were like really, and even Cheney, I mean, she's only 2 years older than me, but she had been on the team for a while. So as a younger player, I definitely relied on them for like helping me through difficult time, especially in 2012. I was like, I am very young, and you want me to start and play every game at a position that I do not play or haven't played ever. So this is gonna be interesting. Crazy. But for me, when I was younger, or when I was, especially at 2012, I was like, just don't screw it up for the older players. That was my biggest concern. I obviously really wanted to win a gold medal myself, but for me, I was like, some of these players, this might be their last time playing and trying to win a gold medal, and I don't want to be the reason that they don't. So that was probably what motivated me the most back then. But yeah, I would say that I try to be as helpful to the younger the younger players as much as I can. And I sometimes like, I think I once asked Mel, I was like, you realize like what we're getting into. I think it was before, maybe it was before 2019. I don't know, but just like to make sure that they realize how rare this happens, how special of a moment it is, but that like they're prepared, they know that they can achieve and be successful, and they're going to be fine. But it's also like, yeah, it's balancing and handling that stress and pressure, especially as a young player.
Hearing you talk about the older players and not wanting to mess it up for them, there are 8 of you who were on the 2015 World Cup team, the 2019 World Cup team, and now this Olympics roster. Do you, people say that it could be the one last hurrah. Like, do you feel that way? Do you feel like you got to do also the fact that if you guys do it, you'll be the first team to go back to back in the World Cup and the Olympics. Yeah. So it's like it feels like there are stakes in addition to the stakes of it's the Olympics.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's a thing you're conscious of, or if it's like, I can't think about that right now.
No, it's like, there's always stakes. Like 2015, this is going to be Piercy and Abby and Boxy's and like their last go. And there was obviously more people who retired after that. So there's always stakes. And that's just the reality of this team, because like you just cycles through players and groups of players and that sort of thing. So for me, I'm like, I just want to win. Like, that's just it. I just want more. I'm like greedy when it comes to my career. I want to have the most wins and the most medals and like, yeah, be able to look back and know that I took advantage of every opportunity to get those things. And I'm still pissed about 2016 and missing out on that opportunity.
I genuinely like that I can tell you are mad. Like when I brought your face, when I bring up to it, you're like, yeah, what? Like, it's good. That's good. I feel like that's how you got to here, is you let that stuff drive you. Cause it's weird to me to think that like the athletes that are doing it on the hugest scale, being very successful at it, started out like regular people. And there's something in you that is not in me.
That is crazy.
That got you there. And I'm just like, how are you like, yeah, I'm gonna be good enough. Let me just keep going. I'm like, oh, I stink at this. I'm gonna stop. Let me get out of the way. But you've got this drive. And it's like, that's such a great thing to have. And it's also got to be such a tough thing to manage when you start to, humans age. You get to a point where you're like, man, I gotta slow down. I don't want to slow down yet. I'm ready to keep going.
For sure. Yeah. No, I mean, that's why I say like, I'm greedy. Like I know that and I've known this since the beginning, but I know that my career is finite. Everybody does, like as a professional athlete, you have a very small window to achieve all the things that you want to achieve. And so, and like I said, I've known this since the beginning, but I think once you win a couple of things, you realize how fun that is. And like when you lose a couple of things, you realize how shitty it is. And I'm greedy. I'm like, I've got a couple more left and I want to win them all. So I'm going to do everything I need to do to make sure I'm winning. And that's just how I look at my career.
It sounds exhausting.
It is exhausting. It's so exhausting. It's so exhausting. Like I'm not gonna lie. It's so exhausting, but it's also, if I woke up in the morning, I was like, I don't care if we win a gold medal or not. Like I'd know, like I need to call Vlatko and I need to like stay in the US and sit this, and be done. But like I haven't hit that yet. And once I do, and once I don't love it anymore, I'll be ready. But like, I'm still very greedy. I still want more.
How is Vlatko? Tell me about him a little, because this is going to be the first time a lot of people are seeing him on like a major tournament. And I think I've met him. I met him when he was hired, and I thought he was lovely.
Oh yeah, you did like a thing with him, right?
Yeah, it was like a question and answer thing. I thought he was very sweet. I liked him. I liked his energy. You've obviously spent more time with him. What should people expect from the new coach? Hopefully
wins.
But
I don't know, because I guess I like haven't really. I mean, I love Vlatko. Vlatko's great. I have thought about it a lot. I'm like, I kind of want to be like, how you doing, bud, coach, like boss, like how you feeling, you know, because he's never done this before. But he's done very well coming into this team and leading it and guiding it and preparing us for this tournament. And this will be, you know, truly his first big test. So I'm excited for him to get to that stage and be able to coach like at an Olympics. I think that he will do very, very well. And my hope is he handles it, you know, perfectly. That's all you can hope for.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, exactly.
Does it work like youth sports in that there's one person on the team that has a relationship with the coach where the coach is just annoyed and bothered by them but loves them? Like it's like, ugh. That was me. That was me on all my teams. Was the coach was like, shut up. But deep down, I knew that they loved and were rooting for me. Does he have a funny relationship with anyone on the team who's just like the jokester, the prankster, and just annoys him?
I mean, Pino and him probably go the farthest back. Well, I guess Becky, but like Becky,
true.
Nobody gets annoyed with Becky.
It's impossible to get annoyed with Becky.
Exactly. No, but like Pino is obviously jokes all the time, and so and just to see them rib each other is pretty funny. I enjoy it. But I wouldn't say that's like the exact description that you were talking about.
You know what would be a fair answer is that like, no, lady, this is professional sports, so it doesn't really work like that here. So that's a thing you can say.
Yeah, I guess
questions are meant to be answered.
That's fair.
I'm supposed to ask you what you want your legacy to be, but I feel like, do you think about that? That feels too heavy of a question to ask right before you compete on a big scale. Is it something you think about? Honestly,
like at the end of the day, I just want people to like, if they think of me, they think of like winner and like good teammate. Like that's it. And like as an like, I don't know. I mean, I'm a defender now, so like it's not like I'm like a goal scorer, you know, this, you know, getting all the glory when I'm perfectly fine with that. Like I just want to be like my legacy. I would have picked her for my team, you know, like anytime I'm picking Kelley.
I'd pick you for my team.
That's good.
I don't know much, but I'd pick you for my team.
What are we playing? Are we playing soccer?
Anything you want.
Beer pong?
Monopoly, whatever it's called. Monopoly Deal.
We still haven't done that. Have we ever played that together?
No, I've never played it.
No, beer pong.
Oh,
not Monopoly Deal.
No. We were supposed to. Were we supposed to?
I know. Yeah, when you first interviewed us, I was like, let's play.
The funny thing is that in my head, I'm like, yeah, we're friends. But then when I think about it, I'm like, every hang we've ever had has been for content and coordinated by people that weren't us. So that might mean that we're not.
Not true. SBs, we hung out.
Yeah, but
coordinated by other people.
Yeah.
Like we were there for.
That was they'll let you into the VIP because a couple of them claim to know you. That was that.
Well, do you actually like socializing that much or like?
So it's tough. It's a tough time to answer that question, given that we've been inside for many years. And I will say I wasn't good at going out before. I had to force myself to do it. And now I'm like, oh boy, I suck at it. But it also made me miss it. So I'm going to be more social, I think. I think I will emerge from this period of my life as someone who goes out. I just can't go out to clubs. Well, nobody's trying to get you to go out to clubs. All right. It's just, I feel like you're always asking me, Katie, come to the club. Katie, come get bottle service. And it's like, God, Kelley, leave me alone.
Bottle service.
I don't want to say the phrase, but if in a couple weeks, you're in a very good mood, when your tour of partying, I would like to be at one of the stops. I'm trying really hard to dance around jinxing anything. So you understand what I'm saying.
No, I do. I think you would be.
We will play beer pong.
I would assume you would be.
We will stand on top of a.
Let's just play regardless.
Yeah.
No,
I
don't really.
I'm saying if you need to, I will. But I just.
Clubs require staying up late. I don't like that
and
anymore.
Standing and usually high heels. I feel like the tide's turning on that, but.
And crowds. No, you don't have to wear high heels to the club.
Okay, cool. You used to have to wear high heels to the club.
No,
Back
you used
back
to,
in my
you-
day.
No, you used to think you had to wear high heels. to
Yeah,
the
maybe
club.
you're right. Maybe it was like societal pressures. You're allowed to go against the grain.
100%.
But every memory I have from a club is that my feet hurt, and that's it. I'm like,
Yeah,
God,
like,
can I sit? Can I sit down? Why is that bottle of alcohol on fire?
Yeah.
Basically it. What do you need me
Clubs.
to read this sponsor question?
Yeah, let's see it. Let's see you do it.
Um,
Deliver for us.
Here we go. The JWS podcast. Here we go.
Podcast.
It's fine.
Podcast.
The
Wow.
JWS podcast is sponsored by Heineken and celebrates women in sports at the top of their game, like myself and like Kelley here, who plays, is it soccer? Where each athlete is unique and successful and has a story to tell. So, who's been the one person in your life that has had the most impact on your Olympic career and why? I think they're asking you. I don't think they're asking me. So, who's been the one person in your life with the most impact on your Olympic career?
Oh, Olympic career. Oh, well, no.
You can say me. It's okay.
Olympic career.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a weird one because it's like Olympic career is just kind of like part of my like parts of my career.
It's almost like it's a specific question in so that you can name someone and not have to apologize to all the people who've had big impact on other parts of your career.
Okay. It's not in my life, but I will say my first Olympic memory as a child, as a kid, was the 1996 gymnastics team.
Oh, what a team.
And they were the ones that I watched on television, and they were probably the first female athletes I ever saw on television, and they're representing their country, and I was like, this is so cool, and I'm going to do that one day. And I didn't know for what sport, but I just was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to be in the Olympics.
Did you ever try gymnastics?
I did. Yeah. I was my mother was a very good gymnast. I was not, but I did do it when I was younger.
I have a junior Olympic gold medal.
Do you really? Oh, wait,
in rhythmic gymnastics.
Is that like the like bows and stuff? Not the bows, the streamers.
Bows? It's ribbons. It's ribbons, balls, hoops, ropes, clubs, and floor exercise.
See, you're an athlete.
Yeah, sure. Man, I'm stoked to watch Rhythmics. They never air it. It's always on like the far away channels, way deep in your cable.
I didn't even know that they
fun to watch.
I didn't know that they even still had rhythmic gymnastics.
Yeah, they made it wild too now. You can do two apparatus at the same time. So it'll be like a group of like 4 or 5 women, and 3 of them will have a hoop and 2 of them will have a ribbon. And they do this wild stuff with it. It's very cool. But anyway, it's not about me. From Heineken, cheers to Dominique Moceanu, Kerry Strug. I'm trying to think. Dominique Dawes.
Yeah, Dominique Dawes and Kerry Strug are like the 2 that I remember very vividly.
Shannon with the bangs.
Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Those three.
Okay. Shout out to them.
I think there were 7 of them.
Yeah, there was a lot more of them than we're naming.
I know, but all of them.
I was myself for remembering names off the top of my head.
Yeah, Kerry Strug in the vault with the hurt ankle was
with
like
the ankle. That was a moment.
I was like,
look at
wow.
That. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, shout out Amanda Borden, Amy Chow, Dominique Dawes,
Shannon
Phelps.
Miller. JC Phelps, we forgot.
JC Phelps, Dominique Moceanu, Kerry Strug. Shout out. Cheers to you guys.
I mean, just a stellar group of women.
Yeah.
And now you are part of that. How crazy is that, Kelley? There's somebody out there who's going to do an interview in 96 was what? 20? This wasn't 20 years ago, was it?
It was over 20 years ago.
Oh my God. 20 years from now, blah, 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 there's going to be a woman who's like, you know what? Watching Kelley O'Hara at the Olympics. I mean, the women's national team, I didn't know what sport I was going to play. She'll probably be a gold medal winning rhythmic gymnast.
Hopefully.
Like it was Kelley that really helped me. That's so cool. I hope you feel so proud of yourself. I know you can't really yet because then it would mean that you're done and you're not done. But what a cool thing you got.
No, it is very cool. It is very cool. Like to be an Olymp, that is another thing that's like, obviously World Cups are incredible and I'm obsessed with them, but like Olympics, and to be like, I'm an Olympian, like, and I'll always be an Olympian because I got to go to an Olympics and now I'm getting to go to my third one. It's just like
what
and I think like just, Olympian is like it's a very cool thing.
A very, very cool thing.
Yeah.
And you get very cool swag.
Yeah. I love, like, I try to like find vintage Olympic hats. Like that's like probably the one thing that I like look to find. And I found a couple and I just think they're very cool. They're very cool. Cool. Everything's cool today. That's my word.
That's a good word. Look, you're focused on other things. You don't have to have a stellar vocabulary right now.
It's
had
not great.
A thermometer up your butt while you were in 104-degree heat. You're allowed to have your mind be elsewhere. Thank you for letting me come here to ask you questions.
Well, thanks for coming.
Yeah, I'm always willing to do it. While I have you here and I can publicly back you into a corner, you now owe me. You have to come on my podcast. We can do it after.
Yeah,
I know you're
let's
busy,
do that.
but you do have to do that legally now.
Oh yeah, I mean, I saw the form that I signed before, and I think the fine print.
Okay, I just want to make sure that you read it.
Yeah.
Do you want to say goodbye and toss out? Because this is your show, and I don't necessarily know how you do that.
No, I think you did a great job.
Okay, well, goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening.
Goodbye.
This has been the JWS podcast. And we
yes, that is. And that is all for today.
That's how I end my podcast.
I should do that.
Go team.
Go Team USA.
That's right.